18 people were arrested and got caught with more than 80 straps, several pounds of dope, in an investigation down in the harbor area of Los Angeles. Let me see if I have a clip here. Let me play this clip real quickly. Let me play this clip. But this was a huge bust here in the Los Angeles area, and I wanted to talk about it real quick. Let's see.
Okay.
Here we go. Now, this is the first time we're doing this remotely, so bear with me for a second, folks. I'm trying to share my screen here, and here it is. Boom. And this is the story coming out of, this is Fox 11 News, local here in L.A. And the anchor woman used to be one of my favorites back in the day.
Christine Devine.
There you go. You already know. Christine Devine. And man, Christine Devine has been doing the news, man, I think for like 20-something years.
Yeah.
You know, I hate to say that she's getting older. People say that's ageism. But yeah, when Christine Devine first hit the scene, she had to be the finest lady in news. She's still looking good, even though she's older. But here's a story out of the harbor area of L.A.
Okay.
Meth, fentanyl, pounds of cocaine, and ghost guns. A multi-agency task force arrests 18 people in an anti-gang investigation.
We know that being able to derive this level of cooperative support to ensure that we are getting this type of weaponry and drugs off of our street is not just making the harbor community safer, it's making all of Los Angeles safer.
Work on the investigation was done by the ATF, LAPD, and LA County District Attorney's Office. Authorities seized 19 pounds of methamphetamine, 3 kilos of fentanyl, 5,000 fentanyl pills, more than 5 pounds of cocaine, and 82 guns, including ghost guns and assault weapons.
This investigation has been ongoing and filled with arrests since January 2020, when we partnered to target the violence created by the shot callers of East Wilmas. Multiple surveillance operations, search warrants, firearms and narcotics buys were conducted in Wilmington, San Pedro, Long Beach, and Arizona.
The suspects face conspiracy allegations, including weapons and narcotics, possession, sales, trafficking, and gang-related assaults.
All right, there you go. Eastside Wilmas is a Varrio down here in the harbor area of Los Angeles, and the HA, the harbor area, that is a car for the Southsiders in prison. I don't believe the brothers. I don't know what the brothers' car is for the hoods down there when they go to prison. Who do they ride with? Because they do have the Harbor City Crips, and they have a couple. They actually have a blood set down there called Pain.
Yeah, Eastside Pain. No, they got Eastside Pain. They got Ghost Town out in Wilmington. They Bloods. You know what I mean? Yeah. They got some homies down there and some Crips. But the thing about it, they ride with the homies and they ride with the Crips. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they don't. I wonder what car they ride with when they go to the penitentiary. They're not that deep. They're not that deep down there.
No doubt, but they might ride with the LBC. You never know. You know what I mean? I'm not even sure about that. I'm not even sure about that. But I know when I run into the homies, like I say from Ghost Town, they just ride with the homies. You know?
Yeah.
So.
Did you see all those straps?
Man, I'm glad we didn't get into it with the Wilmas, man. They was ready. They was ready, homie. They wasn't bullshitting down there.
I gotta admit that I'm impressed with their arsenal. I mean, I'm a gun fan. So it was an impressive arsenal if it's really true that they had all of those.
Right, man. It was hard for me to believe that they really found those guns at these people's spots and shit, you know. And to be honest with you, that's the first thing I said, man. That's a lot of artillery. I ain't saying it's not possible. But for people who are looking, you know, before you get to fucking with gangs and talking shit to motherfuckers, just think if a hood got that kind of weaponry, that kind of drugs to fuel a war, you know, that's how you gonna lose. You know what I mean? Because they already ready, you know, and they definitely was ready, Alex. You know, if in true they had all that shit.
Now you just made me think that now everybody who's a rival to Eastside Wilmas, now they're saying let's get them. Because they're weaker, right? They got all their weapons taken off the streets, and now they're vulnerable to all the enemies thanks to the government, the federal government, and the local LAPD.
No doubt, but they probably, you know, scattered out around because after they hit their hood, you know what I mean? They probably actually looking for some more of them that they didn't find, you know, but at the end of the day, you know, all them guns they had, they probably have damn near more guns than they got members from their gangs if that was all they guns. You know what I mean? You know, so, you know, and at any given time, you know, just because you got them, you know, that don't mean a few shooters ain't don't got a couple of their own that they didn't get. So, you know, I wouldn't take them light still, but I mean, that just was a hell of a, man, that was a hell of an arsenal, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I haven't seen a gang outside of a cartel type shit with that kind of firepower, you know, in the set.
Yeah, man. I was thinking that they probably slang their straps to their allies, to their homies, because that's too many. That's even too many gangs, too many guns for one gang. And I don't
Right.
see the Eastside Wilmas. They're average size. So yeah, I'm sure they were slanging because everything they were doing here, they had fentanyl, they had cocaine, they had a whole bunch of fentanyl pills as well.
Right, right.
It's crazy that that people is actually selling this fentanyl.
Oh, no doubt, man. You know, and it's killing people too, man. It's killing people by the boatloads, and that's another crisis that they having in America, you know. And it's detrimental to motherfuckers out here in the U.S., bro. That fentanyl is something major.
Do you know that some drug users are aware of the fentanyl and they will still do it because they know that the high is a special kind of high. It's a different kind of high. So it's not like people are taking fentanyl unknowingly. I'm sure there's some that do it. They don't know that there's fentanyl, but there's some people that are like, you know, I'm cool with it.
Well, the thing about it, what I do know is that a lot of people who, you know, got that fuck with the fake fentanyl pills and shit, you know, the fake oxycodone and all that lace with fentanyl, they not popping them. Or the fake Percocets, you know, that got fentanyl in them, they not popping them. They breaking them down, grinding them up, and they intravenously shooting them. You know what I mean? And when you intravenously shoot fentanyl, it's a lot more, it's more likely you will survive than it was if you just pop that pill. You know what I mean? Because I from what I'm hearing, that when you shooting, you can actually feel to a degree, okay, stop now, because I feel a certain, you know what I mean? Opposed to just popping that pill, man, and you just out of there. Or, you know, the homie just died a couple years ago, man. He thought he was snorting some lines of cocaine, you know, and it was fentanyl, man. I'm talking about 20 seconds. He passed out, you know, died right there on the spot. One of the homies lived, so he was able to tell us exactly what happened. But man, that shit is a monster, man. I'll be scared to take a Tylenol with all these goddamn pills going around with this fake shit in it, you know?
Okay, check out all the dope they had. 19 pounds of methamphetamine, 3 kilos of just fentanyl, 5,000 fentanyl pills, and 5.5 pounds of cocaine. Now, I don't know how they charge 18 people with that. Because you can't, not everybody's going to get, not everyone's going to get charged for that, all of that dope, but that's enough dope to send you to the feds for what? For life, right?
A lifetime. Yeah, lifetime,
that's a life sentence in the feds.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you know what's crazy? Sometimes in these cases, they divide, let's say they got 18 defendants in this case. I'm not sure if the FBI was part of this, but sometimes they split the defendants. Yeah, it says here, during the investigation with the support of the ATF, the LAPD, they use several wiretaps. So that means some of these people are going to the feds. But, you know, I don't know if you ever look at the specifics of one of these indictments. Let's say it's 50 dudes. 25 might go to the state. 25 might go to the feds out of the same case.
I ain't familiar with that. Is that right?
Yeah, they did that. And they did that with the indictments in the jungles. They did Operation Cold Stone, and they did Operation Red Rain. And someone was telling me it's just because all of the agencies that were involved, it's never one agency. You got the LAPD, you got the sheriff, you got the FBI. So they want some of the defendants to serve time under their credit. So everybody wants to take a little bit of the credit.
Take a little bit of the credit. Yeah.
It's like slavery. I look at it as chattel slavery. It's like, all right, we're gonna give you these black folks, and then we're gonna give the FBI these black folks. We're gonna give the state these, and then everybody will be happy because everyone can send people to prison.
Everybody can. Yeah.
So this is similar in this case with Wilmas because the feds and the local law enforcement were involved in this investigation, but I don't know how do you get less time for getting caught with 19 pounds of meth, 5 pounds of cocaine, 3 kilos of fentanyl. It just seems like everyone's going to prison for life.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them dudes gonna get conspiracy to distribute. You know what I mean? Everybody not gonna get a possession. Somebody gonna get a possession, but at the same time, man, it's a lot of time that's gonna be distributed through that crew, through that 18. But man, I done seen cases like this where they find all this shit, and because the way they found it, they can't even pin it on, like, say, one person or one group, but they found it at a spot where somebody told that that was a stash house. Nobody can be accountable for that stash house. I've seen cases like this where they find all this shit, man, and dudes get 10 years and shit just based on because they don't have enough evidence to convict them and say it was actually theirs. So, you know, one thing about the feds and one thing we see about these, you know, these joint task force investigations is they find a lot of shit, but everybody don't get pinned down for all that shit, you know, a lot of times, you know what I mean? So I want to see how this one pan out.
Yeah, and that doesn't even include the 80 firearms. So you could add the 80 guns to all of that dope, and this is a serious case. Now, they mentioned ghost guns. They said some of these 80 firearms are ghost guns. What the hell is a ghost gun?
Well, that's the new thing going around on the street. Ghost guns are, you know, gun kits that you can buy on your own, say from Arizona, or you get them shipped in from somewhere and you buy the pieces and you put them together. Basically, they don't have no serial numbers or no identification marks, you know, so you can't trace it. So that's basically what a ghost gun is. They manufacture with no serial numbers, you know, or identifying ID numbers, you know, to trace the gun. So that's what they call a ghost gun. Just guns with no numbers, no prints, no marks, you know. And you could order the shit over the internet now, bro.
Damn.
Yeah, because what dudes is doing, they buy this piece from China, buy this piece from Mexico, buy this piece, put that shit together, you know, man, and they out there smacking shit.
Oh, okay. So I remember my pops was telling me when he was in the military, they used to steal guns from the Marine Corps. And I'm like, how do you steal guns? He said, well, we would take the guns apart in the machine room and we would mail the guns home part by part.
Damn.
So you could break a gun down into multiple parts.
Yeah.
So they will just send like the barrel, they'll send like the shaft, they'll break down the grip. And, you know, over the course of several months, you go home, you got a few guns there that you could assemble. And I guess technically, my pops had ghost guns back in the 1950s and 60s.
Yeah, no doubt. You know, so this ain't nothing new, probably. You know what I mean? Something probably been going on for forever. That, you know, you always, man. Let me tell you something, man. You know, until, you know, like I said, they finding more and more of them on the streets. But for what I'm hearing now, they done put a couple laws into place, man. And when they catch you with these ghost guns, they giving you an extra a substantial amount of time for having them. You know, these FNNs they got out there, you know, these guns with switches on them. You know, I think they'd already changed the laws for the guns with switches on them. When I say switch, you just got a switch on a gun that can change from automatic to semi-automatic just with a switch, and it's a handgun, you know. So they definitely not shooting with the 38s that we were shooting with in the 80s. You know, it's definitely a different ball game. And so they changing the laws to fit this new ball game.
Yeah. I've been hearing this term ghost guns come up in so many cases, and I don't really think anyone's really broke it down or how many ghost guns are really out there on the streets. It seems like ghost guns are rare, but the more and more these cases are popping up, maybe maybe, I don't know, half the guns on the streets is half, maybe too much to say half of them are ghost guns, or
no, it could be definitely possible because that's what they going to, and that day's so easier to get, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, let me be honest with you, you know, you know, I try to school the little homie sometime and say, listen, bro, if you run around carrying a gun, you know, because they gonna do it if they want to or not. You know, you can't stop grown ass man from doing what they doing. But listen, homie, if you don't have a record, don't keep a bullet in the chamber. That bullet, if you get caught with a gun and you don't have a felony on your record, you know, and the bullet is not in the chamber, it's a misdemeanor. You know what I mean? You running around with the bullet in the chambers makes it a felony. You know, now, if you ever been to jail or you ever already have a felony, it don't matter if you got a ghost gun or not. you in possession of any gun. That a ghost gun gonna get you more time than a regular gun, you know. So you might as well have a regular one. You know what I mean? You know, you go, you know. So that's my whole thing. But I think the ghost guns are more available, you know, and you could just throw them away. And when they find them, they can't trace them back to, you know, somebody auntie in Texas. You know what I mean? So I believe that's why they, you know, running with the ghost guns nowadays. Untraceable.
Yeah, that's a good point, because you get caught with a ghost gun, that's probably an additional crime, an additional offense. You know, so just get you a regular gun, and shoot, I like to keep a strap loaded, but I know that when it's loaded, that's another offense as well. But that's only if you're a felon, or does that matter?
No, it's if you're a non-felon, you know, you don't want to get caught with the one in the chamber. But the thing about it is, if you run around Compton, LA, Watts, Philadelphia, Chicago, you better have one in the chamber if you're running around in that capacity. You know, if you run around looking for a gunfight or prone to being some shit right now, man, you ain't got time to put one in there. You got to be ready. You know, my thing all in all is you know, put them guns down, man, and, you know, squab it out like how we did back in the day, you know. But I guess those times is damn near over, because these dudes, you know, they'll shoot you over anything nowadays.
Yeah, them days is over. Well, yeah, when I have my gun in the car, I keep the magazine separate from the gun, because I'm technically not supposed to have it loaded. But I'm like, that defeats the whole purpose. But that's California law, y'all. I'm not talking for the whole United States. The state of California says I cannot have the magazine in the gun when I'm driving around. So it is what it is. If I really needed it, I probably get killed by the time I put the magazine in the gun, right?
No, not necessarily though, Alex, because you got to really understand that a dispute that you get in is going to be a dispute that escalated. Unless a dude pulling up on the side of you and just gunning you down because you Alex Alonso, then yeah, that's a different topic. But most of the times, you know, you'll see a dude point, you'll see him look, you'll see him pull over, you will see him enough time where I can grab that thing, pop one in there and get ready, you know, on most occasions, unless, you know, like I say, you in a damn near war. People ain't just running up on car. Look, we've been out here forever, you know, 50 plus years. People ain't just running up on everybody in every car they see and just shooting into the car just because, you know what I mean? A lot of these situations is you got an enemy, you know, you got a certain situation, which means, like for me, when I carry the gun on the daily, shit, when I'm not in Compton in LA, I don't have my gun like ready. You know what I mean? It's put up and tucked away and all that. You know, when I get off on Rosecrans off the 710, when I get off on, you know, Rosecrans off the 110, when I jump off to go to my grandmother's house, you know, get off on Slauson, it's in my lap. Because at this point, you know, you got to either be ready or you're not. You feel me? So those are the dynamics. But for the way we live today, you know, I don't carry a gun to work, at work, or when I'm working, or, you know, just a different time for us. You know what I mean? So sometimes you can get that thing ready before some shit kick off. Don't get it wrong.
But I also got to keep it. Not only do I got to keep the magazine out the gun, I got to keep it in a case, and the case has to be locked. So now I got to unlock the case, and then I got to load the gun. You know, how long is that going to take?
But to be honest with you, Alex, I believe a guy that's a regular citizen got a gun in a car, in the center console, the clip is in the glove compartment, and I believe they'll run it, see that everything is legit. I don't think they taking nobody down for that in that capacity. Run your record, say if a person's record is clean. I don't believe they just doing it like that. You know what I mean? You know, now Tennessee, I mean, in Tennessee is different. Because I was in Memphis one time, man, and I'm at my people's house, and my cousin pull up, the police pull him over right in the driveway, right when he pull in the driveway. He got an AR in the car, he got a 9mm in the car, and he got a open bottle of Hennessy in the car. You know what I mean? I bullshit you not. So I'm ready to get up out the back door and shit, because I'm already knowing, you know what I mean? We got some weed in this motherfucking shit like that, so I'm peeping game. Man, they told dude, listen, man, you know, you shouldn't have this open container, you know what I mean? I could take you to jail for open container with a firearm, but I'm going to run your firearms, and if they legit, I'm going to let you go. Man, we watched right out the window. They ran and shit, and he got a whole AR in the car, you know what I mean? Clipped up, you know what I mean? I ain't saying he had one in the chamber, but the clip was in it. And man, I seen when the police put the bottle of Hennessy, half bottle of Hennessy on the top of the car. When he let him go, man, hey man, go and do your business. The guns was legit. It's different in some states, you know. California though, shit, they would have had his ass, you know, in California, you know.
And California law enforcement officers get so paranoid, even when a law-abiding citizen such as myself has a gun in the car. I got pulled over in my truck, and I had the gun in the box, and the box was locked, and I had it in the back seat.
Mm-hmm.
I opened up the glove box to give him my registration, and he saw a box of bullets right there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I opened up the thing, a box of bullets basically spilled out. And he said, "You got a gun in the car?" I said, "I actually do. It's in the back seat." And he got all crazy. "All right, get out the car."
Yeah,
he pulled his strap out, and I'm like, "Hey, it's legit. It's legit." And then I gave him all my paperwork, and they cuffed me. They handcuffed me, like literally handcuffed me, and I got a legal gun in the car. And then the dude, this is where it went left. He said, "I'm gonna have to open up your gun box." And I said, "Well, I don't give no permission to open up the gun box." I had to sit there for an hour. So, and everything I did was legal, and they still had me up for like an hour. Maybe even more than an hour. They had me on the sidewalk. They brought in reinforcements. One cop came over to me and said, "If you don't give us the key to your gun box, we're gonna bolt cutter it. We're gonna use bolt cutters and open it up." I said, "Go get your bolt cutters."
Right, you definitely would have beat that just hands down. Shit, I beat him. Yes, ex-con, so it's doable. You have rights, bro.
Yeah, they ended up not doing it. It was just a bunch of tough talk.
Yeah.
But one of the sergeants came up to me and said, "We just want to make sure that your gun is not loaded and that you have your magazines, you know, not in the gun." And I said, "It's not loaded." So but they eventually let me go. But you know, California is a little too strict with their guns, with their gun laws for law-abiding citizens, believe it or not.
No doubt. You know, that's what it is here, man. You know, they so stringent, and it's not just guns, it's just everything, man. You know, they driving people out the state left and right, you know. So I don't know how long we're gonna be able to put up with the bullshit ourselves, you know what I mean? As we get older and older, man, it seems like they just trying to push us out on every level, you know, taxes upon taxes upon taxes, you know. So, you know, shit getting just getting wild out here on the West, man.